Hey guys, want to talk to you a little bit about coolers today. That's right, coolers. I am completely 100% obsessed with coolers. I've had coolers my whole life, come from a long line of good cooler packing people. Let me show you what I got here. Starting out with the 450 Grizzly. That could be the main reason why I ordered the Desert Plunge wide, because it was the biggest cooler I could find. Plus, if I ever decide not to cold plunge, I got a huge cooler. Don't tell my wife. All right, this is my collection of coolers. I've collected them over time. Once the Yeti came on with the rotomolded coolers, I had the old, thin regular plastic coolers forever, and they were great. We thought they were awesome until the roto-molded Yetis came onto the scene, right? And then those were awesome. They hold ice forever. Actually, they don't, but, they hold ice really good, keep things really good and cold. So I got into them. First one I bought was the Arctic 45 hard side cooler. Still perfect to this day. It's got a few scuffs, got a few bumps and bruises. I had to replace one of the foot pads because sliding in and out of the truck, one came off and I lost it. But it's awesome. Still works great. All right, so let's go over the soft-sided coolers that I've had over the years. First one I ever bought was this thing right here. I got it at Walmart. It's an Arctic Zone. Used it to go to the beach, right? Got this little plastic liner in it that used to come out pretty easily. It's got really thin padding or insulation around it. Got a couple of good pockets on the front for sunscreen, wallet, phone, things like that. Got the lid that zips. Had the bungee cords on top. You can put a towel or whatever. And the quick access to the inside. This still works pretty good for, a few hour trip. Not a big deal. Can't really complain about it. I use it for lunch when I'm in the field at work. Good lunchbox. This one's been a pretty good one over the years. I always took a cooler to the kids' soccer games. All three of my kids used to play soccer. Then my son dropped out. He started weightlifting. My girls played soccer, so we spent a lot of weekends at the soccer field. So I was looking for a good soft-sided cooler that I could put some drinks in for my wife and I. And I always wanted to have ice with Ziploc bags in case one of the kids got hurt or something and they needed an ice bag. That came in handy more than one occasion. Very handy. First thing I bought was this Maelstrom, right? This was pretty good. We're always carrying a chair when you're at the soccer field, so I wanted a backpack style. And this was not bad. It did okay. Had some pockets. Some of these games we had to go to were not in the greatest of areas. And I didn't feel comfortable at some points. So I wanted one with a pocket that I could slip my carry pistol into and not have to worry about it, getting condensation on it, things like that. Did a lot of reviews, did a lot of looking. This one proved to be pretty good. Had all kind of pockets that I put Ziploc bags in or whatever. And I would put my carry pistol in this pocket up here, and it did great. Until I had to bend over one day, setting up a chair or something, and this seam leaked, and water went all over me. That was not awesome. So then I said, well, I'll just use a wagon. I had to carry chairs for me, my wife, my in-laws came, my parents came, carried chairs for them. So I just bought a Gorilla cart and I put everything in it. So I bought this soft-sided Arctic. And this Arctic worked pretty good, but the pull tab, this zipper is serious, man. This baby ain't leaking. But the pull tab broke off. But still, it was a good cooler. And it worked really well. Plenty of space inside for your drinks for the day. And sometimes we'd just pack lunch meat and bread and all that stuff and make lunches at at the game. So this would hold most of it pretty good. Then I saw this at Sam's. This is a Bushnell. Cannot find it on the internet anywhere. I saw it at Sam's one time, and it was relatively cheap. It was like 40 or 50 bucks. And had the pockets just like I wanted. Good pockets. Got Advil in there now. Got some electrolyte packets for water in case one of the kids gets dehydrated or something. That wouldn't work right away. Got some ponchos over here on the side. Some disposable ponchos because it does rain at those soccer games. And then I got my Ziploc bags over here. And it's got the backpack straps. And I'm a big guy. A lot of backpacks don't fit me. These straps fit me. And then it holds quite a bit on the inside. Love this cooler. Works really good. So that's the one I was taking to the ball games. When we weren't at home and I didn't feel like taking the cart, I would bring this. I finally graduated up from the soft-sided Arctic to this hard-side Lifetime for at home games when we'd be there all day. That gives us more room to pack lunches and things like that. When we get the hard coolers, I'll show you more on that one. We're getting ready to go on a cruise one time, and I always like to take drinks and waters and things like that on a cruise and have the cabin guy or girl keep our drinks on ice for us. So we needed a soft-sided cooler, ran to the local Ace Hardware the day before the cruise, and wife gave me permission to buy a soft-sided Yeti. This is not it, but this is close to the size. I'll get into Yeti a little later and why I've come around to Yeti. Anyways, several models down the line. This is the one I have now. I love it. It's got the magnetic closure, and then also it goes over, if you really want to secure it, and buckles on both sides like so, and then you can carry it around. This surprisingly holds a lot and does not leak. Finishing off the soft sides, Christmas this year, I had a good friend of mine at church brought me some fish one time to church, and to thank me for something I had done. I don't know what it was, but he really didn't have to do it. But he brought me some fish that he had caught, and he had a cooler, this small size Yeti backpack cooler, and I brought it home, and I fell in love with it. I love that little cooler. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with coolers, I guess. Anyways, I took his cooler back to him, but my wife knew that I really fell in love with that cooler. Doesn't have a ton of room, perfect for like one person on a little bit of a couple hour. I always travel with drinks. I'm always drinking water or something. You guys probably see my Yeti cup sitting around all the time in my videos. I'm always drinking something, so I always like to have a drink. So she got me this for Christmas this year, and it came with a couple of free water bottles. So anyways, that's why I have that. On to the hard coolers. Let's move these out of the way. So we found at Sam's a rolling hard side cooler. Had the handle that went up in the back, had the wheels. Those wheels went to crap pretty quick. The handle wouldn't go down. It got stuck, so I decided to scrap all that. Put a little pallet wood around it. Now it's a back porch cooler for when we have parties and stuff. I got the drain there, and it works great. Had to file these down a little bit. It was a little hard to get the handles off, but it works great. Obviously, I got the 450 Grizzly here that I cool myself in. First one I ever bought, like I said earlier, was the Arctic 45. Love this cooler. It's great. It was great on the boat. We went right in between the front lounge area and almost made a full pad that way. Great cooler. Like I said, I got this Lifetime cooler for the soccer field, and it's okay. It wasn't a bad cooler. I know the top, if somebody would sit on it, it would indent a little bit, so it's not full of foam. Just sitting on the back porch, because I store most of these on the back porch. This little T right here, I came out and it was just like this, and this piece was laying on the ground. It just broke. I didn't like that it didn't have a drain. So I bought a drain off of Amazon and installed the drain myself. But the one thing I didn't care about this is it would sweat. I don't know why, but it would sweat condensation. So I still use this around the house. Sometimes we have parties and stuff and put water in this and sodas in that for the kids or something. So we come to the Titan Deep Freeze series. I had the great honor to marry my wife's cousin's daughter and her husband. And I had no problem doing it. I would never charge them for anything like that, but they got me a gift card to a local sports store here. And they had these on sale. And so for $20, I added $20 as a gift card. For $20, I was able to get this Titan Deep Freeze. Like, I needed another cooler, right? So my wife said. But anyway, she knew I liked them, so she said, go ahead. That's what you should get. So I like it. Haven't used it yet. It's got the basket, which I normally toss away, but now I've been thinking, I think I'm just going to keep these baskets. It is good for keeping stuff keeping them cold, but keeping them out of the water. It's got good strap handles, replaceable, because they're inevitably they're going to break. Holds about the same amount as the Arctic 45. Love that cooler too. This brings us to the latest purchase. This is the Igloo. I bought it to kind of replace the Lifetime down there. But we don't go to soccer games anymore all Saturdays because both of my girls are now playing for their school, so we have our weekends free again. But I saw this at Costco, and it was $40. And I thought, man, that's a really good deal on that little cooler. Never know when you're going to need this size. But I didn't buy it. So I came to the house. I just started looking it up, looking it on Amazon, and the cheapest I could find it was about $100, somewhere around in there. And I thought, $40, that's a great deal. So I tailed it back down to Costco the next week and picked up the old Igloo. Hey, you never know when you're going to need it. Like I said, I'm obsessed with coolers. Love a good ice water cooler slurry, keeping your drinks nice and cold. I love cold drinks, don't like warm drinks. So that's why I have all these coolers. Like I said, my wife says I'm obsessed. She's probably right. I'm pretty sure that I am obsessed. But hey, I got a cooler for every occasion. Now, I'm thinking I probably need 100 quart on wheels. Cater Gator. I've been looking at the Cater Gators on the Rebstaurant.com store. I'm really thinking I need that 100 quarter with the wheels. But don't tell my wife. Alright guys, I just wanted to bring you this quick fun little video on my obsession with coolers. Catch you guys on the next video. Hey, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them the best I can. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. Alright, thanks guys. Catch you later. Alright guys, let me give you the story on the Yeti and why I'm coming around to the Yeti. At first when they came out, I wasn't a Yeti fan. I was like, these are way overpriced. You get the Arctic for half the price. And then, other coolers started coming out half the price. Then I started seeing coolers coming out way more expensive than Yeti. But let me tell you, I was telling you about that cruise that we went on. And I went and got that Yeti soft side cooler. Worked great for the cruise. And it was the type that had the zipper on the top, the raft boat seal and all that stuff. And it did not leak. But over time, it started flaking off. The waterproofing and stuff started flaking off around the zipper. So I took some pictures of it. I sent it to Yeti. And I said, hey, I spent a lot of money on Yetis. They're supposed to be the best. I got this happening. Is there anything you can do for me? Well, they wrote me back and they said, well, you didn't register it when you bought it. But since you've, go ahead and ask. We're going to go ahead and give you a one-time exchange. I said, great. So they gave me a couple options, and I picked the one just like this gray one down here, with a magnetic closure and everything. So they sent me that one. I sent the old one back. I was thinking there for a minute, oh, they'll let me keep the old one. I can use it too. May not be perfect, but I can still use it. Now they sent me a box for it and everything. So I sent it back, and I used the other one. So the open and the closure was magnetic, and I registered this one. Over the course of a year or two, the magnets started coming apart in there, and it wouldn't stay closed. So I started Googling. I said, well, I'm going to go to Google and find out, are they using like two-part epoxy or some kind of rubber patch seal to glue these magnets back on so it'll keep working. Come to find out, they had a recall on it. So I reached out again to Yeti, and they said, yep, yours is under recall. You can pick between blah, blah, blah. But we don't have your size in stock because we're reworking it. I said, okay. Well, and they also said, well, we'll give you Yeti credit. So they gave me Yeti credit. Went for a long time without the cooler. Had that credit sitting there, so it was killing me. I bought a couple Yeti buckets. Had no need for them. Gave one to my dad. Keep one now. I use it for fishing. It's great. I love the Yeti bucket. Finally, my cooler came back up. I added a few dollars to it, and I was able to get this one. This one is just as good as the other one. I love it. The problem I had with the other one was you would open it up, and it wouldn't stay open. Quick, easy solution. You cut the top off of a 5-gallon bucket, the ring off the top, about an inch and a half down, 2 inches down. You put it in there, and it holds it open. You can load it, put your ice in it, whatever. This new model, as you can see, it stays open. I still use my bucket ring, but this stays open. Good, strong magnets. This thing's great. I registered it when it came in and everything. I told you my wife bought me this and got some free water bottles with it. Well, the water bottles come with a lid. It's a sport lid or something, but it's got a little mouth opening like on a bottle. So it's a 2-part lid. The first part screws in and it gives you that mouth opening. There's a lid that screws onto that. Well, these bottles were this tall. They were huge, and they weren't insulated. But I really liked that lid and the way it worked. And if I could find a smaller one insulated, it would be perfect for going to the gym and things like that. So lo and behold, they do have an insulated one with that sport lid. I got that. It's awesome. My wife also with this got me a Yeti cup with a handle. And it's not the big 40 ounce. It's like a 30 ounce. And I love that. I use that cup all the time. So I'm coming around to Yeti. Their customer service is absolutely wonderful. That's why I like them. That's why I go with them on a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not going to knock the Arctic stuff, because they make really good stuff too. Just if they would have had an Arctic with that sport lid, I probably would have went Arctic just because it was cheaper. Also, my local Ace Hardware has a huge Yeti selection. I'm able to go and find them in just about any color I want, and actually have them in my hand, hold them, look at them, and things like that. So, anyways, I forgot to tell you my Yeti story, so I'm coming back. There's my Yeti story. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Love you guys. We'll catch you on the next video.